You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
Live. All right, welcome back to the Hello Sport Podcast. Punters and dribblers, the wait is over. The home of unqualified opinions. The home of unqualified opinions. Sorry, too many. What did I say? Unqualified a penis?
Something like that.
Shocking start to 2020. Absolute calamity, but we're back. Would it have started any other way? Probably not. Probably a good way to kick it off. Joined as always by my dear friend, the king of the holiday. Been gone for a good 6 to 9 weeks, all over this country. Young Edward Simpson, how are you?
I'm well, mate. You know, I like my holidays. I like to unwind, decompress.
Yes.
2019, obviously, we were atop the heap fighting off, wannabes for 12 months.
Yes.
That takes a toll, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So I've gone away and I've reset.
Yep.
And I've come back better than ever.
Have you got a haircut penciled in this week?
I haven't penciled one in, but if you're telling me I need one, then maybe.
I'm not saying you need one necessarily.
People, I find that in my life that if I need a haircut, I'm often told to go and get one by all walks of life. Like, not necessarily my family members or my girlfriend or close friends, but randoms start to
tell you.
Yeah.
I think it's because usually you like to keep a pretty tight salad.
Well, I do need to keep it tight because, as some listeners will know, most will not, my hair is actually much like steel wool.
That's why I'm noticing.
My fear is if it gets too long, then I'll be bundled away and used in some bloody ghastly wash house.
So, like right now, what it looks like to me is it's obviously got a thick, curly base, a fro.
Yes.
And then the sort of ends of it look like when a dishcloth or like some sort of steel
it's frayed.
Has been used too much and it's time for the bin.
Like an overused toothbrush.
Yes, exactly, where shit's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's chaotic.
Yes.
I really would just like to take a beard trimmer to the top of it. Just the top. Like, I just want to knock off a couple of inches off the top of the hair.
It's upsetting you.
Not upsetting me. I just thought that I was predicting that you might have penciled one in because I know you like to keep it tight.
But I've been on holidays.
Well, that's why it's in this situation, I imagine.
Look, fair point. I'll take it on board. But if you think I'm penciling a haircut day one back at work, no. We had a great weekend, big weekend. Monday was tough. It was the first day back in like 3 weeks. I bounced myself out on Saturday.
I knew you did.
Into Sunday, which is we were going to do the podcast, and I was like, I'm not going to say anything and just see if I can get away with slipping one through the keeper.
No, I saw photos and videos of where you were at, and I was like, you know what? This looks like this is what Eddie's doing is going to turn into a good time. I'm going to allow that to.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I had to go out with a bang. From my holidays, that is.
Yes.
So Monday was tough, but I'm here and I'm ready to rip in. I've missed you.
I've missed you too.
I've missed our dribbles.
I've
missed them terribly.
A long time between dribbles.
I've missed them terribly.
The punter and the dribbler, very desperate, sending us in messages of, pleading, when the fuck are you back? We're back now. It's official.
Yeah. Lots of pleading.
Lots of pleading. It's been a little bit sad, but also when you deprive someone of something that they're addicted to.
Much like food or water.
Well, but also like an addict. If you're addicted to dribble and yarn and it's taken away from you. Have you ever heard of those studies where they like give mice cocaine and then they take the cocaine away and they basically die within weeks?
Because also equally, they'll choose cocaine over food and water.
Yes.
Much like some of our listeners will choose dribble
and yarn over food
and water. Yeah.
If faced with the challenge.
Yes.
And that makes sense. I have, Eddie, still not had my child. Still waiting, but I am in between jobs.
Yes.
So I finished up my last job. You would think maybe you'd just have another job lined up. Don't. But obviously,
such is the manner in which you were parted with. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like you left on your own terms. Although it was a blessing in some ways.
Oh, it was a blessing. Don't you worry. But
I'm just saying you could be forgiven for not having something lined up. So, I'm on your side.
Mate, there's no sides here. This is leading me into where I currently am right now, which is just trying to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
So
food on table
stuff, a roof over my unborn child's head. So as I'm looking for, I've worked in radio and podcasts and media for like the last 5 or 6 years. So I'm looking in that field. But unfortunately, Eddie, Christmas, funnily enough, not a great time to find work.
Weird.
It's weird, right?
Really weird.
I would have thought real good time to find work.
Well, I would have thought people are in a happy mood, sharing is caring, share the love.
know
If
what?
you're a boss, there's nothing quite like providing someone a job.
That's it.
Such is the season.
Unfortunately, no. So just coming into the new year, as I said, lights on, food on table stuff. Started labouring, which I've done intermittently over the years, Eddie.
You wouldn't have laboured for a while.
Intermittently over the years is the best way to put it. But it's easy work, right? In terms of, I don't have to...
Depends what you're doing, mate.
Well, no, not literally easy. It's easy in the sense of like, fuck it, I'll just go labour for a couple of weeks.
You can
or a
get
month.
work.
You can get work. There's always shit to be done on job sites, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I've rolled into this job site last Thursday, Dior. Had to go and get all the new shit, right? Like,
Where were you? Where are you?
I was on a job site in Bellevue Hill, so
Okay.
not that bad. A
Yeah.
mansion.
Yep.
But I had to go and get like new boots, fucking new like high vis gear and shit. I look like a new kid starting school, and I was like, "Fuck!" When you see new work boots, there is no more.
Did you have to get high vis shit, even for resi?
Yeah, well, you just got to have it because you don't know where you're going to go.
Oh, okay, right. I was going to say you would have looked very out of place wearing
did.
high vis on a
did.
residential
I did.
site.
I did, and brand new boots. And so I rock up at like 7 in the morning. I'm like, "Hey man, I'm here to," and the guy's like, "New boots, mate." And I'm like, "Fuck!" First thing he's noticed is fucking my new boots, and I've just tried to like break.
Why didn't you try and scuff them up the night before?
Because
get some steel wool and
Because
get
then
to work.
I felt like that makes you more of a loser.
Yeah, it does. But
Because
at
you're
least you
too
would have.
worried about, like, I'm just going to wear this
Yeah.
new school. You know, it's a bit of an alpha environment, the job site. So you just got to take your licks when you get them. And mine, unfortunately, was the second I walked on the job site.
Sure.
And then, again, unskilled labourer, to say the least. Like, unskilled.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously, roof over baby's head. So the dude's like, "Mate, you know how to jackhammer?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. Yep." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Just grab those and we'll get you down to the bloody, the bathroom or whatever the fuck it was. We'll just get you to get to work, hey?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool. All right, sweet. Jackhammering, right? All right, yeah, let's go." Get down there and he just sort of like takes me into the place and he's in the bathroom and he's like, "All right, mate, so just sort of, you know, safety proof, all this sort of shit, and then just get to work." And I'm like, "Fuck, okay, let's do this." And so he just walks off, and I've just like, you know, I've safety proofed everything, like the glass it can break and shit. And then I'm like, I don't know how to eat. I've never touched a jackhammer. So I've had to quickly get my phone out and just go, "What brand of jackhammer is this?" Go to YouTube, and it's like how to set up jackhammer, whatever the fuck it is. And I've got this video, like this 3-minute video of how to set it up. And then I'm like, "All right, sweet, that's how to set up. Boom, let's go." And then I'm trying to start it. I'm like, "Shit, get back to the video quick. Oh, this is how you turn it on. This is how you do this, that." And then I'm like, "All right, I now know how to jackhammer."
He would have been like, "Why can't I hear the jackhammer?"
"Why can't I?"
Yeah.
Well, bro, he wouldn't have been thinking that because I took 2.5 minutes
Okay,
to
you
learn how to
You
jackhammer.
rolled it out quick.
Dude, I had to. I was in a situation where I'm like, I've told this man I can jackhammer. I need to jackhammer out a floor in this bathroom. And with every second that he can't hear a jackhammer,
Yeah, it's getting close for him walking back in here.
he's going, "What are you doing? Day one, you got new boots, and I can't hear a fucking jackhammer."
And I've caught you watching a YouTube video out of jackhammer.
So thank fuck he didn't come in, and I've worked it out, and I've just started jackhammering. And now, 3 days later, on a job site, I could teach any man on the planet how to jackhammer. I did fuck up one pipe, but that was it.
Yeah. So you're pretty happy with yourself.
Mate, look at these hands. These are jackhammer hands. Now, they don't look that bad.
No, they don't look bad at all.
Below the skin, though, they tell a different story because 3 days of jackhammering, when you've got sort of, you know, soft, weak, like soft boy hands.
Were you wearing gloves?
Yes, I bought gloves. I bought myself a fucking hard hat.
Did you?
I didn't wear the hard
didn't
hat.
take it, did
no, I
you?
didn't wear it. I had it in my bag, which I think they probably saw once or twice as I was trying to hide it in my bag. So I didn't really know the side I was going to. So I just bought the hard hat and then got there, and so it wasn't really that sort of scene. But I was in high vis on a fucking residential site
Oh my God.
days.
That would have been like, mate.
This guy's a gimp.
Yeah, this guy's a loser in your new boots. So the summer of sport though, Tom. Is
Huge
that where we
summer
arrived
sport.
to?
I think that's where we've arrived to.
I wouldn't say a huge summer of sport.
Well, we
Big.
predicted this was going to be a shit summer of.
It's been an entertaining-ish summer of cricket. Like, it wasn't competitive, but it's still good to see us thrash people.
Yeah, look, there's nothing wrong with absolutely beating the shit out of oppositions.
Particularly if the last foe was New Zealand. Because, I mean, they take such joy out of pumping us.
Yeah, but the problem with the New Zealand-Australia Test series that didn't get me wet in terms of the shellacking we gave them was that, like, I get satisfied if we pump New Zealand in sports they're good at. Now, yeah, you could say they were ranked number 2 in the world, but, like, were they really? No one believes that. No one believed they were number 2 in the world. We were always going to beat the shit out of them, and we did. And so it was like, well, I would enjoy beating many other fucking cricket nations than New Zealand.
Like who? There's South
India,
Africa.
England,
There's South Africa who don't play the
With us
test we were
anymore.
talking
No,
about.
no.
So they're out. It's India and England.
But I'm just talking about teams
But
you
I'm
enjoy
saying,
beating.
yeah, but I'm just saying after that, because you got to take every 4 years, two out of every 4 years have got to be someone shit.
Yes. It was nice.
In the New Year's test and the Boxing Day test. So I think what I'm trying to say is I think New Zealand should have been put into the routine or the roster.
Rotation.
The rotation long time ago.
Yes, I agree with you
Big
there.
crowds at Boxing Day, an old foe.
Remember, I think we even messaged each other. The first test against them was at the Wacker, I believe.
Yep.
And it was like the crowds were up and about. And the first session, I think, or the first, like, you know, before... I mean, I think it was almost... The start of every test was kind of competitive, and then it sort of would just fall by the way, so we dominate. But, like, when it was the first one at the Wacker, it was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
You know, Kiwis, Aussies. Wagner was a fucking beast. I
Yeah.
tell you what, I enjoyed watching Wagner. Wagner was almost Australian in the way he played. Tough, uncompromising, Ryan Harris-like.
Yeah. Yeah. It had a bit of rhino about him.
Had some rhino. Lion-hearted was
Yeah,
Wagner.
I like that. I
Now-
would go along with that.
This is a Dior for the punter and the dribbler, but I am almost 100% certain that I heard someone say that Wagner is the son of a potato farmer.
No way.
I swear to God.
Who'd you hear that off?
Off the broadcast.
Off the broadcast.
I think I heard it on the broadcast.
That's far more cred than a dribbler.
Well, I
at the
know,
pub.
but I'm just trying to remember. I heard it, and I was like, did they just say that Wagner is the son of a fucking potato farmer?
Well, how could you have misheard it?
Look.
Did you hear Wagner and potato farmer?
Yes.
So either he's a potato farmer or he's got potato farmer in his lineage.
Yeah. Which is what you want to hear.
Well, it's one or the other, and they're both pretty impressive.
They are.
Now, if he is a part-time potato farmer in his downtime, I'm impressed.
Well, I think New Zealand cricketers have to have another job.
Well, they're
I don't
semi-pro,
think
aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think they get paid.
They'd be like Kane Williamson and get the big bickies, but otherwise,
You've got to be farming potatoes.
that'd be fair to say.
I'm just looking up Neil Wagner. I feel like the least we can do is a some Dior. South African-born New Zealand player. There you go. What do we got here? A bit about the family, Wikipedia. Do we have any of that? If you don't have family in Wikipedia... No, don't have it. Do your own research, punters, dribblers. Neil Wagner, son of a potato farmer. Smudge. It was the summer of Smudge losing his hands. Never really found him.
Didn't really find them, which was upsetting.
Yeah.
Because I would have liked to have found his hands, but it was the rise of Labuschagne,
Yes,
which
it
is
was.
obviously an incredible.
He's now in the top 4 batsmen in the world.
Yeah, he
was
is.
120 this time last year.
Now we went out for dinner on Saturdays. You know, a couple of boys there that liked their cricket. There was some narrative being thrown around that Labuschagne now can be argued who is the best batsman in Australia. Like they think it's now an argument that you can make,
No,
and I
you
was
can't.
like, that's
ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Can we name and shame?
Yeah, Ben Porter.
Of course.
Friend of
Benny
the show.
Porter. Love Benny Porter.
Love him
Shout
too.
out to Benny Porter.
But he was saying, I reckon you can make an argument. Not to say that he thinks that he is, reckons you can make an argument based on this summer. I don't think that.
No, I don't think
because
so.
I don't think you can make the argument against someone who literally single-handedly won the Ashes for us.
But also, in fairness to Steve Smith, who single-handedly won us the Ashes in swinging conditions over in England.
Yeah. Scoring tons of consequences.
Labuschagne just beat the piss out of a very weak New Zealand team.
He didn't get an Ashes ton, Labuschagne.
Didn't get an Ashes ton.
He got some big scores
nice
against
50s.
some fucking minnows. Let's call them what they are.
They're part-timers.
They're part-timers. And in the context of world cricket, they are in the second division, realistically.
Yes. Yeah, they're tier 2 nations.
There's 4 tier 1 nations, and then the rest are tier 2.
Yes.
And that's just a fact.
That's just the way it goes.
And if you want to put like Afghanistan and shit in there, tier 3.
Well, I'd say you could put them in there with New Zealand at a pinch, but we'll just, I don't think you need a tier 3. I just say New Zealand are tier 2 with Afghanistan.
Now, they're competing for tier 2 glory, make no mistake.
Yeah.
But tier 2 it is.
Tier 2 it is. So to try and say that Labuschagne, now listen, absolutely glorious performances from Marnie.
Ken Bat, big fan of his work.
Love it.
Love him. Think that he has all the hallmarks of a future test skip.
We said that, and it's already started. We said it first.
I know, of course we did.
And then have you heard?
Yes, I have. Of course I have.
That Ricky Ponting now.
But I'm not surprised by this stuff anymore, mate.
No.
I'm not surprised by it anymore.
No.
We say things and things happen.
People pick up on it.
It is what it is, mate.
Yeah, that's true.
It happens all the time.
All the time.
There's another segment further into the show where we're backing up what we spit out.
Yeah.
Well, the people are.
The people are.
Now, I'm not anti-Labuschagne, far from it. All I'm saying
I'm
is...
pro-Labuschagne.
Of course. All I'm saying is to Ben and to people that want to compare them, no.
No,
Steve
don't.
Smith's hands did go missing. No, he didn't get a ton this summer, but...
Well, he lost his hands. It's a lot.
He lost his hands, or maybe they were stolen. No one's quite sure. But you know what? If you single-handedly win the Ashes for us, you can have a summer off, bro, against tier 2 nations.
Yes. And also, what's ridiculous is his summer off, he still outscored a lot of the other team, and he was still getting his average. Like when he's batting shit, he's still getting
He's still getting
50s,
his
60s.
Yeah. Well, his average is 62, 63.
Yeah.
He's still getting that.
Still getting that. So you're like, I mean, really, this is him wildly out of form, and he's still got the mental capacity and the autistic intensity to just grind out whatever he can.
Well, that's it. He knows his hands are missing. That's why he's scoring at fucking,
Listen.
a strike rate of 25.
If you got a missus or a housemate or just someone that you're nearby, go get a big roll of duct tape from your Bunnings, your Woolworths, something like that. Get your friend, your confidant to tape your hands up. Like ball your hands up in a fist and get them to just tape the fuck out of them so no fingers are available, and then go try play cricket. Try score 1 run, let alone 63. That's what Smudge is doing. So to try and imply that after the summer of Labra that he is now the best batsman in the country, I just feel like you've got a short memory, firstly, and you don't understand cricket. Labra's played 14 fucking test matches. Dior probably more than that. But
not many more.
Not many more.
Not many more. Would it be 14? He's played 5 plus 3.
Well, no, because he played some last summer in Australia as well. He's probably played like 20.
Sure.
Whatever.
Maybe.
Who we'd have... Look.
I'll tell you how many he's paid.
We'll look into it. Eddie's going to find it now. But you can't compare the two right now. I'm not saying Marnus has to play the same amount of tests as Smith before you can say one's better than the other. But Marnus has only really swung that dick against New Zealand.
14 tests.
14. Did I say 14 tests?
You did.
Did I say 14 tests, Eddie?
You did.
Thank you. And that was just off the top of the dome. That was vibe. I didn't know the specific number, but if you go into my brain, there's a lot of sort of speculative vibe choices, and that was a vibe one, and I was fucking spot on.
Good on you.
Assuming Wikipedia's up to
date, up to scratch. Look, I'm allowing it.
Yeah,
I'm allowing it.
Yeah, that passes. Ridiculous.
Look, ridiculous. Just had to squash any doubts around who numero uno is in the world, Steve Smith. Just in case anyone was a little concerned to get a ton this summer. David Warner did well.
Dave did well.
And power to Dave. Dave scored a lot of runs.
Did a lot of jumping.
Now, there is question marks over whether maybe some of those jumps have been incentivized.
Yeah.
I think a dribbler pointed out to us that there may be a correlation between Dave's propensity to overjump and perhaps him getting some cash from one Toyota.
Oh, look, that's been the rumour going around for a while, ever since he incorporated the jump. But
I think it speaks to the over jump.
I mean, he loves an over jump, but he has, in so doing, become one of the nation's great jumpers. It's just a weird conundrum we find ourselves in. But look, Dave did well. None of the tons. The 300 was good. Again, he's got 24 test tons, and I think 20 of them are at fucking home. He loves Australian conditions. Now, that being said, I'm not knocking him for it. I just don't get as wet for him, especially when they're against New Zealand and Pakistan.
That's all we're saying.
That's all it is.
I mean, I like brave tons of consequences. That's what I like.
Yes.
Now, shoot me for wanting that, but like that's what I want.
Nothing wrong with
Think
that.
Steve Smith on a goat track in India.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Tons of consequence.
Yeah. Michael Clark taking a barrage of bounces in South Africa on the way to a brave tons. Like tons of consequence. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
Now, Dave's capable of them, but I'd like to see more of them.
Yes.
So just take the summer of Dave, the fucking mountain of runs, and let's do that in India. Let's do that in South Africa. Let's do that in England.
Yeah. Would love that. But that's about all I have on Dave. The bowlers bowled well. New Zealand, meh. Went to the Sydney Test. That was a good time.
You had a good
Always
time?
Fun. Always nice and fun.
Had good seats.
Yes. Well, we've got a friend. I will only refer to him as the godfather of the SCG because I don't want to reveal his true identity. But he has found a way to ensure that he can get a shitload of seats reserved in the members section without anyone having to be there. So he gets there before everyone and reserves a shitload of seats. And so you can rock up whenever you want. So for those that don't know, there's a thing called the Paddington Gift. And I don't know if they exist at like the MCG. I assume they all do it, or the other ones, which is basically all the members who are absolute fucking dribblers. They get to the cricket ground at about 4:45 every morning of the test. They line up. Then they get their little sticker for their seat and they go in, put their sticker on their seat, and then they'll sit around for 5.5 hours until the cricket starts, just so they can have a good seat.
The best seat.
The best seat.
And the best seats are good.
They are fantastic. I obviously refuse to do that. I'm not even a member of the SC.
We did it once.
I did it once.
We did it once,
Yeah, and I fell
remember?
asleep.
And you fell asleep on the toilet.
I fell asleep on the toilet. Like, so that's clearly not a
You fell asleep in your chair and then again on the toilet.
And that was more about sleep deprivation than intoxication, but I'm sure it was a little bit
Well,
of
I think they went
column
hand in hand.
I think it was a bit of both.
But you're not up for the Paddington Gift.
Fuck no, dude. It's not. I mean, no. As if I'm not going to do that to go and watch Australia play New Zealand in a dead rubber. You know what I mean? So I got there. You roll in whenever you want because the Godfather has it all sorted, and the Godfather's well known because he does this for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, he's well known.
And everyone arrives and gives their seat sticker to the Godfather as a show of respect.
Yes, a thank you.
Yeah,
an offering.
An offering.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly
kissing
right.
his hand.
But here we are. We arrive now on, what is it, January 13th. And I can't help, Tom, but be reminded of what we said at the end of last year. Move a test from November. Move the November test to January.
Yeah, because now we're just testless.
Because now we're testless. And our fucking boys are over in India playing one days that no one's going to watch.
Well,
when we could be waiting, or we could be in the throes of another test.
Another test match. It just seems
Everyone's
so
still
silly.
on holidays. The Australian Open hasn't started yet.
No.
There's a week or two
Where you
between
can
the
get this
end of
done.
the last test and the start of the Australian Open tennis,
Yeah.
where you have a free window of opportunity to play another test or play six if
Yes.
you want.
If you want to play six,
If you want to play
I'd be down
six,
for
I
that.
don't give a fuck. I'll play six.
Fuck these one days, dude. But I mean, over in India, I guess they're probably just getting a shitload of money for it.
Play them in February.
I'm sure.
Play
but
them in
then-
February.
Yeah, but then there's probably some other triangular tournament that's a waste of time.
What's more important, test match cricket or a bit
Yeah.
of coin? Like,
No, I
they're
know.
already paid well enough, for God's sake.
Yeah, but-
yes, I'm being selfish.
Yes.
Yes, I get it. But that's also interesting as well. India, we're now at the beck and call of India. Like, we'll leave our country in summer, in January, prime fucking time,
To
to
go
go
and play
to
one
India
days
to play.
in
Yeah,
India.
yeah.
Ridiculous. dude.
Ridiculous.
One day is really actually a good time. I remember going to a couple of one days back when Andrew Simons was really in the powers.
Roy?
Yeah, Roy. Shout out to you, Roy, if you're listening, which I know you are. And like that was probably the last one day I think I went to, and it's a bit of a carnival vibe. It's 2020 but with substance.
Yeah.
They're in pajamas, but it goes for. I'm allowed to stay up late. It's like it goes for longer.
Oh yeah. Starts at 2, which I like.
That's nice, and you can make a day of it.
And there's dinner.
Yes.
Dinner break.
Yes,
Perfect.
That's good. You can get schoonered.
Yeah.
And not too schoonered.
One days are fun.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun.
They're fun.
But I think I'd prefer a test.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care who has it or when or where it is, but just
make it
happen.
Jesus Christ. You want to talk 4-day? Because they were talking 4-day tests.
No, I did. Now, for the punters and the dribblers that aren't aware, they're voting on 4-day tests this year. Now, that would obviously mean the removal of the 5th day, the day where drama unfolds, right?
Yes.
Now, apparently, the thinking behind this is that the 5th day can be expensive to put on because it doesn't always go to a 5th day. And when it does, there's small crowds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm like...
That's not what this is about.
That's not what it's about. It's about changing something that has been fucking... Well, how long have we had 5-day tests for? Almost 100 years.
Yeah.
I don't know when they got rid of timeless tests, but it wouldn't have been after the 30s, I don't think.
I can understand that decision.
Well, mate, we looked it up the other day. The longest timeless test, 10 days. Day 8 was rained out, and they had to abandon play because they were going to miss their boat back to England. I think it was in South Africa.
So it didn't actually even end?
Didn't even end. 10 days.
It's still going.
Yeah. Technically.
Technically, the test's still going.
Because it is timeless.
It is
they
timeless.
should go and pick that up.
They should finish the test.
They should finish the test. Anyway, it just gets me fucking furious. What is this obsession, Tom, with continually changing things that work and work well?
Yeah. See, now, I was outraged when they wanted to put numbers on the back of jerseys and names, right? I was like, fuck this.
So was I, until someone said it's for the kids. And then I was like, okay, cool.
Well, I mean, sure, the kids can get over it, but I guess it's like so they can identify with players. But I'm just now kind of like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm cool with it now. I'm not going to... It's not the hill I'm prepared to die on, bloody numbers on the back of the jerseys. Whatever, I get it. This is a little bit more than just changing numbers on the back of jersey. This is changing the fucking game.
Mate, it changes the whole setup.
How
like,
you do it,
how you
play,
declare, how you play, at what rate you score. Like, it'll all change, and you'll lose the days of drama.
Yeah.
Ben Stokes is fucking... he's like winning runs in the Ashes.
Yeah.
That was day 5, was it not?
Edgbaston.
Michael Clark taking 4 wickets in like the last over.
Yeah.
Against India at the SCG, day 5.
Yeah.
Like, mate, there's so many fucking
Fading light.
remarkable moments that have happened on day 5. It's ridiculous. Yes, games finish on day 4. No one's fucking disputing that. Yes, a lot of games finish on day 4. No one's disputing that. But...
Some finish on day 3. Do you want to make them 3-day tests?
Exactly. But it's just going to change the whole fucking setup of the game.
Yeah.
It's going to change it in its entirety.
Not
and what are they going to do in England, mate? You lose a day and a half, 2 days, guaranteed to rain in England.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
How are they going to finish a test?
They're not.
It'll be draw after draw after draw after draw.
Hopefully cooler heads prevail, Eddie.
I'd like to think so, Tom, but it's got me worried.
Yes.
Because we live in times where they think that change is good. Like
Reactionary. It's
people
like you're just
change
be
shit.
seen to be making
That's it. It's like, how am I going to earn my fucking pay packet? Oh, I'm going to change something. Oh, look what we did this year. We went from 5-day to 4-day tests based on one metric or 2 metrics. One that a lot of days finish... Test matches finish inside of 4 days, cool. And the other that the day 5 is expensive. But what about every other fucking metric that you're just throwing away?
They don't seem to care about it.
They don't care. Do you care about the game?
They don't seem to care about the game, Eddie. One thing that's
We've already got short form cricket, 2 forms of it.
And they're going for like 10 over. They're going 10 overs as well. So it's 50 overs, 20 overs, they're doing 10 overs and then 100 ball.
Where are we?
What is going on?
100 balls?
100 ball.
Oh,
They're doing the 100 over in England.
Oh, my God.
I know. It's outrageous. Now, one other thing I wanted to touch on just in terms of the summer and after everything that's transpired, and you could almost say off the back of Smudge losing his hands, not directly related to, but ties into, and also T-Pain's glove work, and also that brave 77 I think he got in Melbourne, maybe, Dior. T-Pain has, I think, established himself as my captain.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
He's my captain now. And I mean, he has been for a little bit, but like now it's like you've come back in an Australian summer.
But he feels like a captain.
He feels like a captain.
He feels like the Australian captain.
Yeah.
And when I look at photos, for example, when they're holding the trophy aloft after, cleaning up another series, looks right.
It makes sense.
Smudge isn't directly in the middle of the photo. He's sort of off to the side, and I'm like,
I think this makes more sense.
I think this makes more sense. I think it does.
Certainly for now. And there was talk about obviously this being the final summer, and he was just
I
going
don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I would be shocked if he was stripped of it.
I don't think he will be. JL, I think, even came out and said as much, where he was like, he's the most important player in the team.
Mate, he's a fucking leader.
He is a leader.
He's a leader. With the way he talks, the way he interacts with the boys, like
the way he talks.
I can't tell you how dripping wet I am for that Amazon Prime documentary coming out,
my God,
chronicling Australia's ascent.
Why is it in May or March? Can we not release it in February?
Get it done.
February's the most boring month of the year.
They must want to put the summer in there. Maybe.
I'm
guessing.
Yeah, that could be
because it goes from Cape Town incident to the current day, I believe. I know it certainly starts in Cape Town.
Does it?
Yes.
See, that's tough. Imagine being like Smith and Warner and Bancroft being like, fuck, there's a documentary.
All I'm saying is I'll get to lost in what will be so sick, a documentary. But Tim Payne in it reeks of alpha. In the short little snippets I've seen, reeks of an alpha. And I'm sitting there going, I can't see Smudge doing this.
No. Smudge could not command a room the way Tim does.
He's got presence.
He does have presence.
And he's not a big boy, but that's not what being an alpha's about.
No.
It's presence.
He's got a good body. He's got a nice face. I'm just talking purely aesthetic.
Yeah. Oh, he's nice to look at.
Nice to look at, right? And then assertive in the way he speaks to you.
Yeah.
So you go, I'm already drawn to you visually because you're an attractive individual.
Yep.
Your glovemanship is without peer globally.
Yeah.
He takes
elite glovemanship,
but also he's in like constant pain because
pardon the pun,
because like his fingers are still fucked. So he's taken catches from the fastest bowling quartet. Well, three of them
tripod
in the world, and it's like constant pain. And he just like you see him shaking it off. You're like, this is a tough.
It's a competitor.
It's a tough competitor. And then when you hear him speak in those snippets from the test or whatever the fuck it's called, my captain.
And let's not forget, punters and dribblers, who took the boys over to England after a disastrous 18 months in which we were the ridicule of the world, of the sporting world. We had fallen from the tippy top to the very bottom, a la Tiger Woods.
Yes.
But just a shorter period of time. But make no mistake, on par.
Oh, absolutely on par.
Equal in consequence, I would have thought. Yeah. Even more so. Because it's the Australian representative.
I'd say more so because it's an entire country that has gone under.
And then to drag us back under his guidance and leadership, Tom, to the tippy top once more, well, pending.
En route.
But on the way, we've regained the Ashes, brought them back home. Like, that can't just be ignored in favour of someone that was captain and fucked up.
Yeah, fucked up. But so, like, you don't just bring him back in.
I don't think you can anymore.
Nah.
And that's like Steve and I and you and I and Steve and us are we're very tight.
Yeah,
and Steve knows that. And Steve knows that we love him and that we'll always defend him, but he knows he fucked up.
Yes.
And
I don't think Steve look, I'm happy to sit this out with T-Pain as my captain and see if there's another captain that emerges more worthy that can do the job, who's got a bit more about him, certainly presence-wise, and, can talk to boys, get them up.
I'd be very, very surprised. I think Tim Payne stays captain until he's no longer in the team.
And yes, and someone else is...
So if his fingers begin to...
turn to dust.
Yes.
Physically, not metaphorically.
If they begin to...
literal dust.
Remove from the rest of his hand.
Yes,
and
that's it. One day he tries to take his gloves off and his
fingers stay in the glove.
Gloves.
Who knows? Like, I'm not going to predict how it ends for T-Pain, but I'm saying this. For the foreseeable future, he's the skipper of the nation.
My captain.
And I wouldn't be surprised, Tom, if he took us to the tippy top, and to the tippy top I'm talking about the ICC Test Championship.
That's what
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's a famous story.
That's a book.
Well, it's a 30 for 30.
It's a fucking oath it's the 30 for 30. what would you call it? Sort of like something about
Pain and gain.
Yeah, pain and gain. It's something about a captain thrown into the furnace.
Yeah.
And emerges
An unlikely hero.
an unlikely hero. That's what I was looking for. Something like that.
Something along those lines.
Australia's unlikely hero. And they could go back to how he was like considering giving it away.
The leader
game.
we needed, not the leader we deserved.
Yeah. To use a Batman
To
reference.
use a Batman reference.
Which I think's,
Apt.
yeah.
That's what, 45, 50 minutes of cricket talk, Eddie, to start the year off? What are we looking at there?
It's 46 minutes
Yeah,
with a indulgent introduction
Yes.
on your part.
Well-
Call it half an hour.
But I think that's probably cricket, is it?
I think so.
Shout out to Stoinis for 147.
And for making it look so goddamn easy,
Mate.
you big, thick boy.
For the Melbourne Stars, looked absolutely ridiculous.
Isn't he a pleasure?
He is a pleasure.
He's a pleasure. I want to get onto rugby league because God's winner game is just around the
It's
corner.
so close
It's
now.
so close
It's
now.
so close.
I
And-
can touch it.
Yes.
I can literally touch it.
The journalistic articles are now starting to have some substance, whereas in the off season it's all horse shit, and it's like months of speculation about things that are not close at all. Rugby league now on the doorstep. Well, rounding the garden path, and we're seeing it approach the front door.
I can see it.
I can see it. Now, the Gold Coast Titans had an opportunity, Eddie, to throw all of their money at their best player that they currently had. That's Jai Arrow.
Who has got a 10?
He's got the most beautiful wag, the hottest wag in Australian sport. There,
Correct.
I said it. Dior, who she is, but my God. That's not the point. He's a Gold Coast boy, loves the Gold Coast, misses a Gold Coast girl, loves the Gold Coast. He wanted to stay at the Gold Coast. He's their best player, Origin representative, back rower, throbber, big, good-looking, build a club around him. Throbber. They, apparently, if you believe the rumours and innuendo, lowballed him.
Oh, my God. The Titans lowballed him. They don't lowball anyone.
The Titans are paying Shannon Boyd from the Raiders $600 plus a season.
You don't...
lowball Jai Arrow.
But they don't lowball anyone.
No,
least of all Jai Arrow.
They don't. They've got Ash Taylor on $1 million a season, based purely on like promise.
Yeah.
Hasn't done anything.
And we can't get another half.
Exactly. Well, he's already here.
Yeah.
Showing some promise.
Yeah.
Fuck, it'd be embarrassing if he left and fulfilled that promise. Let's give him $1 million.
Yeah.
Tyrone Peachy. Love Tyrone. Great. He had a really good year year before last with the Panthers, Blues, Australia.
Yep.
They then paid him $750, I think, a year to go up there. Bryce Cartwright, Eddie, I believe, is on $750,000 a year.
Madness.
What's the other guy? Someone Leilani Latu or something. Dior, that one. He's on like $500,000 a year, and they lowball Jai Arrow.
Give me a lowball figure.
Like I believe maybe in the 5-6 range.
What? That is outrageous.
Dior, that punters, dribblers. I could be giving the wrong figures, but just know this: lowballed. And then Souths have gone, oh, okay, well, we've just said goodbye to G.I., John Sutton, and Sam Burgess.
Funny, we should actually be in the market for a back rower.
Okay, Jai, feel like coming to Sydney? Oh, you've got a 10 missus who is also looking to further her career in the modelling game. I don't doubt for a second that she'll struggle there. I think it'll be the easiest fucking career she'll have because she's fucking gorgeous. And I say that with utmost respect. Let's get you down to Sydney, hey? And we'll pay you more than the Titans were going to pay you. They should have made him captain and they should have paid him out the arse. They should have taken...
Have they officially lost him?
Yes. He's signed with South. I would say... And then...
From 2020 or 2021?
That I'm not sure. There is a part of me that thinks it's from 2021, but South's trying to get him for 2020. But I think it's from 2021. If I was Joe, I'd be like, get me out of here. Get me out of this shithole. If it's 2020, let's just say, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just say it's 2021. They've also just signed Trell, and we'll expand on this in a second. But I would say having having lost GI and Sam Burgess, Sam at the end of his career, aging.
We can say that.
Yeah,
we can say that.
GI end of his career, aging, injured. They are in a better position now, in my opinion, than they were with GI and Sam Burgess. You've got Jairo, Queenslander in the prime of his career. Trell, who has won 2 premierships, played New South Wales and Australia, and he's fucking 22.
Oh, he's 22. He's young.
His best footy's still ahead of him.
Yeah.
Souths
and he's going to do, make no mistake, he'll do well under Wayne Bennett.
Of course he will.
He'll do very well.
And now you've
under
got
Wayne
Trell, Jimmy the Jet, and Cody Walker, this Indigenous tripod.
Yeah.
That are just going to absolutely throb. South with a very proud Indigenous history. I will say, Latrell, I saw his press conference where he's in the green polo of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. I must say, the colour looks fantastic.
It looks like it was made for him.
He looks
for him and him alone.
Yes.
He looks that good in it. If you haven't seen it, go and look at Latrell in that South polo. It is to die for.
A sight to behold. And I mean, it adds to the Roosters Rabbitohs rivalry.
It's good stuff, mate.
It's good stuff.
It's good old-fashioned stuff. Now, if Latrell goes to another level at South, which is possible,
playing fullback, getting his hands on the ball more.
I'm not saying he will, but he is, in my opinion, he's got the most raw talent almost out of anyone in the league, I would say. Like, his ceiling could be fucking anything, right?
We don't know where
we don't know what his ceiling is. He could literally be the best player in the world. Now, will he get there? Time will tell. But if he does, it'll only add to the narrative of the South Roosters rivalry. Like, oh my God, look who you got rid of. Like, look what he became.
And he went for less money.
If he turns into a Greg Inglis,
then thanks for coming.
He went for less money. I think he went for 7.
I think he might have even gone for 6.
But he's getting topped up 120 from the Roosters, which would make it 7.
7, whatever. And then I think
then there's the option for 800 next year if they can move some cattle.
Yes.
A la Dane
Alex
Gagai.
Johnson, Dane Gagai. And to be honest, he even said in his press conference, he's like, it wasn't about money. It was about, if it was about money, he'd be at the Tigers on $1 million a season. He just wanted to play fullback, I think, really. He wasn't saying as much, but it's like he wanted to... He's like, I never played. They were like, so, Latrell, are you signing as a fullback? Is that your handshake deal with Wayne? He's like, no, like, whatever Wayne wants me to do, I'll do. But I've never been a centre. My entire junior career, I played fullback. So it's like, obviously... And also, you get fullback bickies.
Well, mate, fullback is blue ribbon stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it's where the big dicks go, much like in the centres, you know? Like, much like in the halves, rather.
Yes.
The centres, nah. Like, they're just not, They used to be cool, bro.
Yeah,
they used to be cool guys, but they're not that cool anymore.
They're not that cool anymore.
Someone was saying the other day, I can't remember where I was or who said it, that wingers are actually more important now than centres, and centres are more like a defensive player.
Wingers, obviously, because they finish tries, but also they return from kicks. So you think about like Blake Ferguson or Semirad Radra in his day, these big wingers.
Yeah, big thick boys.
Wingers who return kicks.
Yeah.
Just fucking charging it back.
Blake Ferguson in Origin, mate, he was non-stop, just over and over and over and over and over again, returning kicks.
Without him, Tedesco doesn't
trucking
get that
up the
ball.
nut, mate.
Yeah.
Trucking up the nut.
So... Souths looking pretty good.
They look good.
Looking pretty good.
But so does Manly.
Well, Manly's going to win it. So that's the unfortunate
2020 is the year of the Eagle.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it deep down. Whether you've got caught up in the fanfare of Latrell signing at Souths, I can understand
That's how we like it at Manly.
But ask yourself the hard questions. Look deep into your soul and ask yourself this. Who looks most primed for a premiership 2020?
Manly. I tell you, if you want to be intimidated, and I often do, go and look at Adam Fanua-Blake's Instagram, and he'll just be putting up sort of photos of like his family, or, he's doing whatever. But there are these ones where like he'll just be in a group photo with like the boys or fucking whatever, and you're like, I'm scared just looking at this photo. You are a absolute weapon.
He's a killer.
He's a killer. He's a killer.
He's a killer.
In a rugby league sense.
And of course, in a rugby league sense. But that's what he is.
That's what he is.
Yeah. He's the scariest player in the league.
Yes. I think that scariest player in rugby league is Adam Fanua-Blake. Both on the field and off the field.
Yes. Avoid him in dark alleyways vibes. Now, not accusing him of anything, but just saying.
But just I would.
If you were in a dark alleyway and he walked around the corner, you would shit yourself.
So this weekend is the return of someone that we have had a long sort of back and forth with, a long relationship with.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor takes on Donald Cowboy Cerrone at UFC 246 or something like that deal, the specific number of it.
Now, I will say this. There hasn't been a lot of interview and content out there really, but I've found what's available.
Yes.
And I'm liking what I'm hearing.
I'm liking what I'm hearing. Now, we've obviously chastised Conor. We said that he was the alpha. He was our alpha.
Yeah, he was.
And then we obviously stripped him of that after he started punching old 60-year-old men in bars. There are also some other salacious stories going around. They never really came to any. If there's no news, you think that could have just been some bullshit. It doesn't seem like it, but he certainly fell from the lofty heights where he was held. Certainly in our eyes. He's coming back to fight Cowboy. He looks and sounds like a more centered and motivated throbber that I can get behind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that he comes out and says, look, my camp for fucking Khabib was absolutely atrocious. I've changed all these things. I didn't give any respect to my my team and the people that brought me to this position, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Saying all the right things, very humble, not lippy.
No.
Remember before that Khabib fight, he said some really fucking lowbrow shit.
Did you watch? And I sent you the video today, but you may not have watched it.
I haven't watched it.
The UFC countdown. It's on YouTube, but you can find it. Punters Dribblers. It was basically. It's not specific interviews with him, but they're painting the picture of how this, where Conor and Cowboy have come from and how where they're at now. Talked about Conor's rise, and then, he started to fall foul. Like he was basically the biggest, couldn't get any bigger. Floyd Mayweather, biggest.
When he beat Eddie Alvarez, he was
huge, but then
he was biblical.
Well, but also then, right up until the Floyd fight. The Floyd fight was biblical because it was like he's just beaten Eddie. He's a 2-weight world champion.
That's true.
And then he goes to this Floyd fight, which is global, the fastest selling pay-per-view in history or some sort of shit like that. And so, at that point, he is literally the biggest sports star in the world.
Yeah.
And then from there, they were in the countdown, they're like, there was only one way to go, and that was down. And then they sort of talk about his fucking fall and he's an asshole. And then they talk about when he came back.
Remember he was throwing ditches through fucking buses and shit. He did.
He went off
Let's
the
not
rails.
beat around the bush. He
went off
turned
the
into a
fucking rails.
fuckwit.
Yeah, big time fuckwit. And at the start, we were kind of trying to
justify his
behavior. Be like, oh, it's kind of cool. He's trying to G up a fight. And then you're like, in the fullness of time, you can look back and be like, wow, he was just losing the plot.
Yeah.
Doing some real dickish stuff.
Yeah.
But then when he did come back and fight Khabib and all those press conferences, they were so dark, and the countdown said as much. It was like he really came back as the archetypal villain. It was like the shit he was saying. Khabib was just sitting there, and Conor was actually saying really fucked up stuff to him.
Really fucked up stuff.
Khabib was, doing the normal fight talk. I'll fuck you up, maybe talking a bit of shit backstage, but it was like Conor's was like, oh God, this is actually.
Yeah. He was saying
really
some
hectic.
Very dark stuff. Some very a lot of religious undertones
and stuff
and
about family and bringing his old man into it and all this weird shit. But this time he hasn't talked any.
None.
He hasn't talked any shit.
None. He's like, I've reset. I'm back to the old me. Whether or not
that's a shit talker or not,
I don't know. But he does seem a lot more level-headed, calm, present. Maybe if you believe the rumors, maybe he's a lot cleaner than he was.
Living cleaner,
living a more pure life. If you believe the rumors. Now. That remains to be seen. If he goes out and dismantles Cowboy Cerrone, which I think he could, he looks fucking good.
Mate, he definitely could, but I am...
If he does, then the mystique will start to come back. Okay, what's he capable of? Is this Conor 2.0? Is he picking up where he left off? But if he goes out there and can't get the job done inside of 2 rounds, and then his cardio catches up with him, and then he's just a heaving, tired mess who gets tapped, then it's all over. And I think
even if it goes late with Cowboy, people will be like, Cowboy's 36
Yeah.
and over the hill to a degree. Cowboy, I'm still nervous. Cowboy's going to head kick him and knock him out, right? Because Cowboy is a kickboxing champion. He's got a lot more tools, but then it takes me 2 seconds to buy into the Conor hype because there are so many Conor hype merchants out there, dick riders, where they start going, maybe Conor's going to. I was listening to one the other day where it was like, Conor's most famous for his left hand. So in a situation like this, I think he's going to use his left hand as the
the setup?
The setup. So it's like, what's coming? What's coming? Not the left. Like something like that.
Right.
And again, obviously,
That's
much
just-
more physically sort of appealing to look at than what I just did. But, there's all this sort of just stuff about how Conor might do it, how he might win.
But that's funny. Like, I enjoy all that stuff, but realistically, there's so many different ways in which you can win that, But it's interesting to listen to,
Yes.
and I like hearing people's theories, particularly from the hype merchants, because, like you say, they get me up and about, and
now,
they get me wet.
I've just thought about this. Now, you and I will be watching the fight together.
Yep.
That is...
Yep. Well,
Guaranteed.
since we've figured out that you can buy fights on UFC.com, if you, like us, have just got KO and main event for some fucking reason cannot be purchased online, fear not. Fear not.
Yes.
You can buy fights on the UFC website. You
Yes.
don't need to go through main event, just in case you didn't know that. If you're one of the guys that doesn't like to stream it because there is a chance the stream will die, get a couple of boys together and chip $10 in each and buy the fight.
It's really not that difficult. But I feel that we should probably be filming that and recording that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we should.
We should.
Hadn't really thought about that.
No,
Should
I only
do
just
it.
thought about it then. We only do it for the Conor fight. Or maybe just do it for the whole thing and just chop it together. But that's a pain in the ass for me.
Maybe the main event. What's the co-main?
Might be Anthony Pettis versus someone forgettable-ish.
Maybe just Conor.
Maybe just the Conor one and maybe a bit of lead up. We'll see. We'll play it by ear, Punish Dribblers, but we'll certainly do the Conor one if we can pull it together. But very excited. I'm going to pick Conor first round KO.
Same.
There you go.
I think he knocks him out first
I
round.
think he knocks him out first round. Now, if you want to know where that's come from, what are we basing that on? Vibe for me.
This is a vibe bet.
Yes.
Now, Tom is already 1 from 1 today on vibe.
Yep.
Went for the vibe bet on Labuschagne, Labra's test career, 14 tests. That was a vibe bet.
Came off.
This is a vibe bet too. So if you think we're going to go 2 from 2 today, then house on Conor, first round KO, I think it's money for jam. That's what I think. I think he overwhelms Cowboy. I think he's
comes
striking.
out really strong.
I think his striking's back. I don't think Cerrone will be able to close the distance, and I think he'll dismantle him.
Conor comes to fight every time. Like, he just always comes forward.
Yeah.
So I just feel like he just needs to land a couple early and wig Cerrone out. Love it. If
Love
he
it.
loses, though, it's all over.
It's all over.
It's all over.
Then we move on with our lives.
Yeah, well, we
And
got Masvidal. That's my
We've
new
got
man.
Masvidal. He's the new alpha. And then we also look to Tony Ferguson and Khabib in April.
Yeah. John Jones is fighting again. Who really cares? But, like, that's still always around. We move on.
We move on.
You know what? There are always going to be other people. The Conor era will officially end this Saturday.
If he loses. And the season he's been talking about is all over.
It's all over.
That's the end of the season.
That's the end of the season. It was a one-fight season. So there is a lot to be up and about for this fight, Punters Dribblers. If you are sort of your fair weather fan, you don't want to miss shit like this. You know what I mean? You don't want to be the person who looks back and goes, "Oh, I lived in the Tyson era and I didn't watch any of his fights live." Because, like, if I knew you and you said that to me, I'm not a spit already, but I might spit in your face.
You're not a spitter. You've never been a spitter,
Never
but
been a
that's
spitter.
spittable. It's a spittable
It's
offense.
a spittable offense.
Don't turn away from greatness. It's like those losers who sit there and go, "Oh, I fucking hate LeBron. He's not as good as Michael." It's like, yeah, but you're now missing the opportunity to watch someone
this.
great
Yes.
in action. Now,
Just
maybe
watch
he's
it.
not as good as Michael, but he is still second all time.
That's it.
And you're just turning your eye away. Like,
Why-
what are you doing?
why aren't you still watching it?
Pull yourself together.
That doesn't mean you don't watch.
And also, there's people that say that didn't even watch Michael in his prime.
No,
so you've
exactly.
missed out on 2 great careers. For no reason.
For no reason. It's fucking
So
ridiculous.
pull yourself together, watch the
So
fight.
get together and watch the fight. Get some friends together.
It's good male bonding. There's a lot
Yes.
of alpha energy in the air. People pretend they know how to fight. You've probably got a friend like ours who shows you how to punch properly and kick properly.
And kick properly.
It's a hoot.
That's what you want.
It's a hoot.
It gives you, you know, like your nerves as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, well, I get
Sweaty
nervous.
palms.
Yeah, sweaty palm stuff. Sweaty palm stuff makes you know that you're alive.
It really is. You feel like you're alive. Now, all we have to hope for it is that my child doesn't come on the day or the day before, really. Well, no. You know what?
Day before even, I don't think you can swing.
No, but there is a chance, like my missus, shout out to Steph, will stay in the hospital, I think, for like 2 or 3 days. So, let's say it happens, the fight's Sunday, maybe the baby comes Friday, Saturday we're in there, then Sunday I'm like, listen, there's going to be a couple of hours where I'm going to have to go and express some, unchecked male aggression for a couple of hours, and then I'll be back.
Just an hour or two.
Trust me, I'll be a better man for having that in my life. I won't be able to handle missing it. I'll never forgive my daughter.
And you don't want to start that
I don't want
relationship
to
off that way.
start that off on a bad foot,
No.
you know?
But also, good chance she comes Monday.
I'd love her forever if she did that.
Good chance she comes
That'd
Monday.
be great.
Good chance she comes Monday.
That'd be really nice.
Punters, dribblers, I alluded earlier in the podcast about how we have a tendency to change opinion and make people take notice of where they're going wrong. Now, we've been saying for several months, if not a year, that Kyrgios is an alpha, and people weren't listening, but now they are.
Yes.
The tide, the court of public opinion about Kyrgios has shifted.
Yes.
In a big, big way, I think.
Well, bushfires being what they have been, shout out to anyone who listens who is dealing with the bushfires directly.
Or who's a fiery, who's putting in the hard yards.
Who's putting in the hard yards. But Nick came out. He started basically the whole, like, he was like, every ace I get serve, everything, I'm going to be donating money. Off the back of that, all these tennis players jumped on, were doing it. Big Bash pajama cricketers were getting into it, raising money. Warney then donates a baggy green, which fucking topped $1 million.
Did you hear who bought it and what they're
Commonwealth Bank.
doing? And what they're doing with it?
What are they doing with it?
Taking it on like a tour around the country to like fire-affected areas, I think, and then they're donating it to the Donald Bradman Museum.
Love that. Now, question here, and this is just a moral, ethical question. Is what they're doing inherently self-serving?
It is.
Because even though look, and listen, I'm just saying this purely from like a, just sort of throwing it out there. Absolutely. $1 million to the fireys, hectic, fantastic, or to wherever it's going to, the bushfire appeal. But someone like Commonwealth Bank, who's like now trying to get a load of like, good positive community vibes off this, or it's like they could have just donated $1 million anyway, but now they've gone, well, let's do this thing with Shane.
Yeah, I get that. But it's also providing the opportunity for Shane's baggie to be seen by others.
That's true.
And then donated to the museum, whereas if a rich guy had bought it, and I can't make assumptions about what would have happened, but I think we can all assume that it would have ended up in his trophy room.
Yes, it would have. And slugs railed off the brim.
Yeah. Well, of course they would be.
Yes.
I mean, you'd be mad not to. And I'm not gonna judge anyone that would do that.
No.
But that's what it would have. It would have ended up getting slugs railed off of it.
All over it from every potential way. And
it would have become a baggy white.
It would have become a baggy, dusty white, and also would have been worn on the job.
Yeah.
Although I assume Shane would have done that.
I think he was more of a floppy white man on the job.
He was a floppy on the job, you reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
I could see that. I know he preferred the floppy white in general, so I guess it would stand to reason.
I heard someone say that, do you reckon, again, Shane donated the baggy green, fantastic. Legend. Someone was saying, do you think it's like a final fuck you to Steve Waugh?
I thought that a little bit, where it was like,
It's barely been worn. It's in
so
mid-condition, mate.
It looks brand fucking new. It definitely could be, but epic from Shane. Good on you, Commonwealth Bank. Taking it around the nation. Sending it to the Bradman Museum.
Love it.
No slugs to be railed off this, national treasure.
Now, Kyrgios.
So I believe where this started.
Yeah. People are into him.
Well, he started this whole thing.
Yeah, he did start this whole thing, but people like the way he plays. He's an entertainer. He puts bums on seats. He says how he feels instead of that crap that gets rolled out in every interview. Just the same old monotonous
bullshit.
Dribble and whiny fucking lies, really.
Yeah.
Like, well, not lies, but it's just, it's politician stuff, and no one's got time for that shit.
No.
I mean, no one's got time for
I
politicians.
don't have time for it.
No, exactly. So the fact that Kyrgios is now getting the love that he deserves, I think is nice.
I think it's very nice. I think it's good to see. But it's the fickle nature of sport, to be honest, is represented in one Nick Kyrgios, the king of the nation. Personally, wouldn't mind seeing him maybe on the currency at one point soon. You know what I mean? Get him on some coins.
Start him off on the 5 center.
Start him off on the 5 or the 10, because I think the 5's being made obsolete, Eddie, and we wouldn't want to disrespect him off the bat. But we'll then work him up to your notes, depending on how his career goes. But the change in public opinion exemplifies the fickle nature of the Australian sports fan
And the power in which we hold.
and the power in which we hold athletes. Is that what you're saying?
You and I.
Oh, that we're held. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we start to sort of turn the tide a little bit.
Yeah.
Then
Tide
he
turns.
does some good deeds, and before you know it, he's on
Yeah.
the coins.
And here we are. But so shout out to Kyrgios for being a good bloke.
Good on you, Nick.
Proud of you, man.
Very proud of you.
Be soon.
Could you two just not talk anymore?